Early one spring morning, I began my run around a crystal blue lake. The air was filled with the fragrance of orange trees in bloom, pausing only to enjoy the sight of fuzzy yellow ducklings frantically swimming to keep up with their mother, feeling the warmth of the sun on my back as I pushed myself to go faster up a steep hill until exhaustion set in and I rested at its peak. Suddenly, I was aware of a hummingbird with iridescent ruby plumage whizzing through the air at 30 miles an hour. Unexpectedly, she stopped, hovering over her helpless baby that had fallen out of its nest onto the hard cement sidewalk. Gently, I scooped up this precious miracle with miniature golden feathers as soft as rose petals. This aerial acrobat, who weighed less than a nickel, began circling me with wings beating 50 times per second. She had migrated thousands of miles to lay 2 eggs, smaller than jelly beans, and a nest the size of a $50 coin made of spider webs. Hoping to calm this anxious parent, I cupped my hand, creating an impromptu nest, standing very still, holding the chick above my head. The mother accepted this strange type of treat and began feeding her youngster. Naturalist John Muir said that when one tugs at a single thing in nature, he finds it's attached to the rest of the world. Apparently, the rest of the world loves hummingbirds. Drivers stared as I imitated the Statue of Liberty near their exclusive gated community. And it was serendipitous that someone called security on me. An officer approached and sternly asked why I was standing with my arm in the air, not moving. I confessed. I had located a baby hummingbird and I couldn't find its concealed nest. In the book, The Fastest Things on Wings, Rescuing Hummingbirds in Hollywood, author Terry Masser recounts how almost everyone who calls her hotline gushes about how much they love hummingbirds. Jaded filmmakers, hard-hearted corporate execs, crime scene investigators break down when their birds cannot be saved. This was the case with the security guard, who looked at me with cold, dark eyes that softened as I lowered my palm, and he peered in amazement at the chick chirping loudly for her next meal. He rushed to his car radio, knowing that he could help save the life of this fearless baby hummingbird. He looked relieved as he pulled his vehicle next to the curb, his tight lips slowly turning to a warm smile as he explained that a hummingbird rescuer was waiting for her new patient. I hopped in his truck and we drove down the hill until we reached the gates of the lake community, where we were greeted by a landscaper who bore an uncanny resemblance to Santa Claus with piercings and tattoos. He proudly exclaimed that he would be delivering this tiny jewel to the hummingbird rescuer. He reached out his large hands and deposited our feisty friend into a shoebox filled with tissues. Holding the container as if it was the most fragile of glass ornaments, he dashed off in a golf cart with his urgent delivery. Hummingbird rehabbers constantly care for orphans not much bigger than bumblebees until they're ready to return to the wild. These Good Samaritans' efforts are rewarded by the sight of dazzling birds doing 360-degree turns in the air until they disappear into the heavens. Maybe, if you're lucky, a magical hummingbird will visit you too.